Okay, I don't even know how to begin it. Oh God, what the fuck? All right, welcome to today's video, which is the fourth time I'm trying this because the message is not so palatable today and the words get jumbled, okay? So today's message is about stopping seeking approval from others and how to do it. Well, if you don't want to constantly be striving for other people's approval or opinions or their validation, the biggest thing you have to do is not care what people think about you. Sounds simple. It's really hard in practice, okay? I grew up as someone who was constantly seeking the approval of the people closest to me, which were my parents. So as a kid growing up in Indian culture, you're really wired to achieve, you're really wired to like go, 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 and to produce results. And there's not a lot of room for being and just being yourself. And I was always a little bit on the unconventional, well, a lot on the unconventional path side of things. I was a little weird. I was quirky. I like to do things my own way. And that oftentimes meant that I was confronted by just people's opinions or disapproval. My parents were just like, why are you like this? Like, why can't you just go the straight and narrow? And in addition, culturally, just the things that I wanted to pursue and my thoughts, my beliefs, just hands down were off the bat different than the vast majority of the people around me. And so oftentimes it looked like I would either, like what it felt like was I would either isolate myself and be myself, or in order to be a part of this larger group, I had to shift who I was. So obviously B wasn't an option because I can't really change who I am even if you paid me, okay? Don't try it, don't pay me to do that. I can't do it. So I often felt like pretty isolated, and I spent a good majority of my adolescence and like even after high school and into college thinking like, why can't you just understand me? Why can't you just get down with who I really am, parents and otherwise, until I started to lead my own life and be in this other world where I sort of created family and friends and coworkers and just my world around me. It took a lot of effort to untrain my brain from constantly seeking approval of people that didn't necessarily jive with who I was, to just feeling at ease in this new world where I just was who I was. So what it took though was a real, and it was hard at first, was a real look at how I was putting the approval of others over how I felt about myself. So I was constantly seeking that approval by, making sure people liked me or making sure people approved of me. And while it felt good in the short term, it didn't feel good in the long term because my soul needs to be myself to fulfill my potential, the unique expression of who I am in the world. I fortunately, unfortunately, need to be this. Fortunately, okay? So I needed to be myself. And so it took a real training ground, I will say, to learn the tools to be okay with not being necessarily liked, with not getting people's approval, with not being everyone's cup of tea. There are people even close to me who generally don't jive with who I am. There's readers, there's people, if you put yourself out on the internet, there are going to be, and if you have any public profile, people who are quote unquote haters or who just express disapproval. You cannot be afraid of that, okay? If you are going to be yourself, and I highly recommend you are yourself because there is a world of ease and confidence and opportunities that you magnetize to yourself just by being yourself that you would have otherwise never gotten if you were constantly trying to be someone else seeking approval. So I encourage you to do that. But if you are going to go that route, the whole goal of this video is for you to know that you are going to be in a camp of people who you require tools. Okay, you're going to require resilience, you're going to require emotional training, you're going to require support around you because you are oftentimes not going to be people's cup of tea. You are going to think differently, you are going to get looks, you're going to be called selfish, you're going to be called weird. All of these things are going to be present, and it's It's not like just foreshadowing, it like will happen. It's going to happen. So I'm just preparing you for that road ahead. If you have any modicum of unconventionality in you and you're heading down that path, it will happen. This video's goal is to prepare you so that you are aware and to get the tools you need to get on board to help you, the friends who know the real you, support in the form of a coach or a mentor or both, audiobooks, internet people, videos, people who you follow, books, all to support the real you and to give you that faith and trust in yourself when people are disapproving of you, okay? So this isn't to shit on anybody. This is to say, if you are in the camp of living life the way you are meant to live, just know people are going to come out of the woodwork and say stuff to you. If you are the type of person who stops wanting that approval and who wants to just live life freely, which is what I did, just know disapproval is coming and you're just going to have to take one on the chin and prepare yourself and like arm yourself like you're going into the Olympics or a battle or something that's going to require you to practice and train, okay? Don't just go in there unarmed because then you're going to get shot, okay? That's a very violent analogy, but arm yourself for the world at large, okay? And arm yourself to be your best self. That's ultimately who you're trying to be. Give yourself the tools. There's no shame in giving yourself everything you need to be your best self, okay? That's today's message. If this helped you, you know what I'm going to say. Share it with your friend, share it with your family, share it with someone who needs to also hear this. You're definitely not going through this alone. If you are walking the unconventional path, there is someone in your life who's doing the same. Please share this with them. This might be the thing that they need to hear. And just don't keep it to yourself. Just hate that shit when people keep it to themselves. Share it. Like it, subscribe somewhere up here. And thank you for listening. And I will see you next time. Peace. Bye.